Okay, be honest with yourself for a second. You probably think you know exactly what your groceries will cost next year, right? You check your receipts, you watch the news, and you feel pretty confident. Well, get ready for reality check, because the hard data proves we're pretty much all completely wrong. We are trapped in a massive financial illusion. And honestly, it is secretly draining your wealth.
It's wild. Almost everyone just automatically assumes they've got this whole budgeting thing figured out. We all like to think we're experts with a crystal clear view of the future. But researchers actually dug into this, and what they found is kind of shocking. The reality is, most of us are completely flying blind.
Here's where it gets really counterintuitive. In massive national economic surveys, a whopping 13% of people literally answered, "I have no idea," when asked about future inflation. They didn't even try to guess high or guess low. They just completely threw their hands up and surrendered. They have absolutely zero clue what is coming for their wallets.
And looking at this chart, you'll see this financial blind spot isn't just hitting people at random. It systematically targets the most vulnerable demographics. We're talking young people, folks with less formal education, renters, and lower-income households. They are consistently the ones left totally in the dark, lacking the tools to see what's actually ahead.
Which brings us to part 1, the rearview mirror track.
So, about half the population falls face first right into this trap. It goes a little something like this. Step 1. You see high prices at the store today. Step 2, you freak out a little bit. And step 3, you blindly assume tomorrow's prices are going to be even worse. People are literally just copy-pasting today's reality to predict tomorrow, totally ignoring how the economy actually works.
Even the academic data hits the nail on the head here. It explicitly shows that what you perceive inflation to be doing right now completely hijacks what you expect it to do later. Look, if you're trying to predict the future just by staring at yesterday's price tags, you are absolutely guaranteed to lose the game.
But wait, because this leads us to part 2, the unfair advantage. This is where we see a huge, undeniable behavioral divide. Check out this comparison. The average guesser looks backward and panics, but then you have the educated predictor. They look forward and they stay cool as a cucumber. Highly educated folks and homeowners, they don't just guess differently, they actually guess accurately.
The data paints a super clear picture of this smart money profile. Who are they? Well, they usually hold a university degree, they own a home with a mortgage, they typically fall into a higher income bracket, and they skew a little older. It's crazy to think about, but your education level and housing status literally dictate your financial foresight.
These individuals aren't just throwing darts at a board hoping to get lucky. They've ripped off the rearview mirror entirely, and they are staring straight at the road ahead. Because they grasp the bigger economic system, they absolutely refuse to let a temporary price bump ruin their long-term strategy.
Let's see how this plays out in the real world with part 3, the crisis test of 2008.
Let's put this unfair advantage to the test with some hard historical facts. From 2001 to 2006, prices were pretty chill and consumers were calm. But bam, 2008 hits, inflation spikes to 5.2%, and the public absolutely lost its mind. Over a third of regular consumers went into full panic mode, completely convinced that hyperinflation was permanent.
But here's the absolute kicker. Right at the climax of that panic in early 2009, that smart money demographic stayed incredibly calm. In fact, they dropped their future inflation predictions a massive 1.3 points below everybody else. They correctly saw the price drop coming before it even happened.
So how did they pull that off? Why didn't they panic? It's simple. They understood the mechanics at play and actually trusted the central bank to step in and stabilize things. Meanwhile, the clueless majority didn't have that context, so they just naturally assumed the sky was permanently falling.
Okay, bringing it all back home for part 4, why this actually matters.
I'm going to be honest, this final metric is genuinely terrifying. When formally tested, only 25.9% of people could even correctly identify the official inflation rate. Barely 1 in 4. That means over 70% of us are out here making massive, life-altering financial decisions while flying completely blind.
So here is the harsh reality you absolutely need to take away from this. You have got to stop looking in the rearview mirror. Seriously. If you are only using today's shopping receipt to plan out tomorrow's budget, you are getting left in the dust. You're losing the game to the people who actually bother to understand the system.
You really have to look critically at your own financial choices right now. Are you rolling with the smart money, understanding the actual data and anticipating the road ahead? Or are you just flying blind, doomed to endlessly repeat the panics of the past? Think about it. The choice is yours.